What if divine power looks nothing like what we imagine? What if omnipotence begins with withdrawal? In Lurianic Kabbalah, a school of Jewish mysticism developed in 16th century saved by Rabbi Isaac Luria, the act of creation begins not with explosion, but with contraction. Before anything exists, says Luria, there is only the Ein Sof, the infinite, beyond thought, name, or limit. But how can an infinite God create a finite world without overwhelming it? The answer is Tzimtzum, a Hebrew word meaning contraction or withdrawal. According to Luria, God withdraws, or conceals himself from a conceptual space, in order to allow something other than God to emerge. This isn't a literal spatial movement, it's a metaphysical mystery. God makes space by hiding. Within this void, a ray of divine light enters, a beam called the Kav, and begins to form the Sphirot, the 10 emanations that mediate between God and creation. But there's a problem. The vessels meant to hold this divine light shatter under its intensity, a catastrophe known as the Shevarit. Kilim, the breaking of the vessels. Divine sparks scatter throughout reality, embedded in the material world. The task of the mystic, and indeed of all humanity, is tikkun, the repair of the cosmos, through ethical action, prayer, intention, and spiritual elevation. Now turn to the New Testament. In the letter to the Philippians, 2:6-8, we read that Christ, being in the form of God, did not consider equality with God something to grasp, but emptied himself. This self-emptying is known in Christian theology as kenosis, from the Greek kenu, to empty. Here too, divinity veils itself. Not by spatial withdrawal, but by humility, God taking on flesh, limitation, suffering. Kenosis is not just a theological concept. It's a spiritual pattern. God becomes small, to make space for communion. What's astonishing is how closely these two doctrines, emerging from vastly different traditions, echo each other. Tzimtzum and Kenosis both describe divine self-limitation, not as loss, but as love. They model a cosmos not of domination, but of relational presence. They tell us, power is revealed in restraint. The infinite withdraws so the finite can love. And both end with repair. In Kabbalah, we gather sparks to restore the shattered world. In Christianity, the crucified God redeems creation through descent, death, and resurrection. These are not just theological puzzles. They are sacred blueprints. They offer a map for our own practice. To contract our ego so others may flourish. To become vessels of presence, even in our brokenness. To be part of the divine story, not by rising, but by making room. Want to learn Jewish mysticism with Merkava Mystic AI? Link in bio.